not enough knowledge of eye care treatments available. UPNG and Goroka Tech sign MOU. And Works Department needs 1.6 billion to be effective.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining me for Thursday's news. The Works Department needs 1.6 billion kina every year to maintain and build roads in the country. Works Minister Michael Nali says this is not the case with the department operating below the 300 million kina funding. Mr. Nali says the department is currently operating on minimum cost projects with access and maintenance the priority.
The Works Department is one of the key government divisions responsible for roads and bridges throughout the country. The Minister and Secretary responsible say funding the department is crucial, however that is not happening.
Unfortunately, the Department of Works does not get that kind of money. I think the minimum that we are picking up is below 300 million, which is not enough.
In the last term of government under the O'Neill Dion leadership, the focus has been on missing links and provincial roads and bridges. Secretary Wera says appropriate funding is needed to cater for the development plans. Mr. Wera says 5 to 10-year road plans are currently implemented, but at a minimum cost.
Alignment according to the priority is very important now at this time. We can't continue to spend everywhere and expect to improve the current condition, current situation we are in. We must now get our priorities right. We know that funding is tight, so strictly work with those priorities.
Minister Nali says the department is making every effort to fix all national roads. Despite the poor level of funding, the Works Minister says providing access is now the priority.
Basically to keep the roads open. We may not continue to do sealing and upgrading, but accessibility is the most important word to use here.
Both the Minister and Secretary say the department is now aiming to build and support the capacity of districts and provincial government to revitalize the district works subdivision. They say this will help in maintaining roads and bridges.
Transfer some of the responsibility down to the provincial and district governments, work with them, resource them, utilize the PTD facilities, the building setups in our provincial establishments in the 22 provinces all around the country.
Jack Lopava Jr., National EMTV News.
Yalibu Pangia candidate in the 2017 national general election, Stanley Liria, today through his lawyer presented an application at the Court of Disputed Returns to have the case against the Prime Minister withdrawn. His decision follows an application he submitted to the Supreme Court seeking clarification about voting on Sunday after the election of Peter O'Neill as the member for Yalibu Pangia.
Stanley Liria's lawyer today at the Court of Disputed Returns filed an application to withdraw the case against the Prime Minister about the legality of voting on Sunday.
Liria said through other media that the move was due to rising law and order concerns in Southern Highlands. He said as a leader, he had to lead by example by taking the right step to ease the tension in his electorate to allow Peter O'Neill as the mandated leader to serve the people. Similarly, another petitioner, Daniel Tulapi, also filed a notice to discontinue the case against Electoral Commissioner Potlius Gamato because of the election-related situation in Southern Highlands. He appeared before Justice Colin McKyle this afternoon, stating that his decision to discontinue was to return normalcy to Southern Highlands.
After the declaration of Prime Minister Peter O'Neill as the member for Yalibu Pangia, Stanley Liria filed an application at the Supreme Court seeking clarification about voting on Sunday. Stacey Yallo, National EMTV News.
Election petitions that were heard at the Court of Disputed Returns today asked for leave of extensions for various reasons, including filing of evidence and representation of the Electoral Commission. The issue of the Electoral Commission representation was raised again during the former member for Goroka, Bira Kimisopa, versus the current member Henry Ame and the Electoral Commission, as the date for the trial hearing was further delayed.
A number of petitions were heard today at the Court of Disputed Returns by Justice Colin McKyle. The Court of Disputed Returns was full today for the motion hearing for the North Wagi seat, Rigo District, Nuku District, Mosby South, Tari Pori, Goroka and Yalibu Pangia. Lawyers representing first respondent and the petitioner had objections to the petition filed were required under the Election Petition Rule 2012, Rule 12, to file their objections within 21 days, which most hadn't. Justin McKyle was lenient enough to give an extension, as he said the 21 days were given just to allow all objections to be filled in a set time so as not to cause further delay. Meanwhile, Barry Kimisopa, who petitioned current member for Goroka, Henry Ame, and the PNG EC on foul play on the 28th elimination round. Kimisopa was disappointed that his case had been dragged on for some time.
We're challenging the LPV system, and I wouldn't go to court if the system was executed fairly. I'm in court simply because there's a breakdown in the process in which the voting was counted, and I do not see any discretion. That's vested with the returning officer that he should count 2 and 3 together at the same time and decide who wins, or alternatively count the 3 ahead of the 2. I mean, this is not envisaged under the LPV system, so that's where we are. So hearing in the interest of justice, so that's basically what it is, and it's going to cost a lot of money going back and forth, but in any case, that's the nature of the process that we all have to deal with.
Justice Colin McKyle is calling on the Electoral Commission and the Attorney General to fix their in-house issues, as it is affecting a number of petitions that is being heard at the Court of Disputed Returns. Adelaide Sirax-Kari, National, EMTV News.
About 300 grade 10 students in Kandep High School of Enga Province have withdrawn from school recently to avoid sitting the 2017 national exams. Governor for the province, Peter Ipatas, said the students have not been given a chance to learn since the beginning of the year due to election-related fights in the area. Ipatas disagreed that the students be moved to grade 11 next year based on the eternal marks, as the case in Simbu and Southern Highlands provinces. He said students must not be rushed onto another level without being tested honestly about what they have learnt. If the National Education Board agrees on the move, Ipatas said both parents and the provincial government will have to chip in and meet the cost for the fees. 2 people were injured, one of them presumed dead after a nasty accident on the Poroporona freeway this afternoon. Eyewitnesses said the pedestrians, a man and woman, were critically injured when they were hit by a truck that was trying to avoid an oncoming taxi driven at maximum speed. They were taken to the Port Moresby General Hospital.
According to witnesses, the 2-ton white Mitsubishi Canter was driving down the freeway when the taxi, exiting Varahe Road at full speed, joined its inner lane, thus causing the truck driver to brake before swerving into the traffic island. There, the first pedestrian, a woman, was struck immediately and dragged by the truck to the next light post, stopping the truck. Also, according to bystanders, her colleague, a male pedestrian, attempting to avoid the truck, was hit by a vehicle from oncoming traffic.
We were walking down softly by 3 meters away. We had this vehicle was coming all the way from freeway. I think he was in idea. Once he applied to a brake, he cannot control the gear because the gear was still, it's in high speed. So apply low. When I make gear, it was very tough. The two couples were right here, not in the middle of the road. So time I'm come here. I'm come now, I'm looking for Harold Chanablo here. So what I'm walking, I'm like, I'm meeting more come now, same time in browsing one time. So Mary, I'm totally, she might be dead. Because Mary, I'm him straight. The man bloganya, I'm jump go ocean now.
The 2 injured pedestrians were then rushed to the emergency room. However, attempts to save the woman were futile. She was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. The truck driver is currently in police custody. Lian Jarari, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. A short stretch of road between the University of Technology and Bumayong in Lae is featuring again in discussions 4 months after new Morobe MPs took office. It is understood the road is the responsibility of the Works Department and approvals have been given for its rehabilitation. The road has steadily deteriorated since the 1990s.
While the sections nearest to it have been fixed, the Unitec Bumayong Road has been allowed to deteriorate over 30 years. It's taken one full term of government to end without any action. Now, a new group of politicians are reigniting the discussions over the Unitec Bumayong Road.
But I'm not going to try to put the blame on everyone. It is a collective thing. It is within our city. I'm going to do my best to work with the Department of Works.
This is an example of the bureaucratic inefficiencies that exist within the government system. The road is the responsibility of the National Department of Works. According to them, funding has been approved, but the actual money hasn't been released.
Some roads that come under the Department of Works and some that come under the city authority or the city council. The main trunk roads come under the Department of Works, so that means Works Department maintains them. It is not the city council's responsibility to maintain. Everyone blames the city council or the district or the member to fix it. But
by the end of this term of government, if no work has been done, it'll be another 10 years of neglect. The people who live along this road are angry.
Same road is established and some years come now. The man win na go to em ni na tindi na sa street sa road. Primary school life no mi go high school no ta miranos la road. Till now mi big la man finish.
Morobe Governor Genson Saunu says he will raise the matter in Parliament, but whether this stretch of road will be given priority depends on the national government. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Lae.
The University of Papua New Guinea and Goroka Technical College have signed a memorandum of understanding to enhance teaching levels in the field of business and policy. UPNG Acting Vice Chancellor Vincent Malaibe, Goroka Technical College Principal Sogeri Falutago and officers from the Department of Education and TVET signed the MOU this morning. The MOU will see UPNG open its doors to Goroka College for further training and level of qualification. Mr. Malaibe says not only quality will be improved, but accessibility in the field of business studies.
So I can see this model working very well for UPNG, and I encourage the school and the Goroka Technical College to push to other programs. That's the challenge. I look at the MOU and checks and balance are there.
This is going to pave the way for the young generation of Papua New Guinea to come to this way, and then in the event we will see that this will market the human commodity outside of this country.
Provisions in this MOU to improve the teachers' quality. If you need in-service training programs, guest lectures, so we are happy and it is part of the MOU.
Nipa Kutubu District has presented its rolling plans 2017 to 2022 to the Department of Implementation and Rural Development. Sitting MP Jeffrey Komal says the plan is basically to complete ongoing projects and continue the delivery of services throughout the district. Despite giving equal consideration to all development sectors, the Nipa Kutubu District Development Authority will focus more on health in this term of government.
Sitting MP Jeffrey Komal and senior public servants of the district presented its rolling 5-year district plan to DIRD Acting Secretary I. Vaki in Port Moresby. The plan is a revised strategy of the 2012 to 27 development. MP Komal says the incomplete infrastructure build will be completed in the next 2 years. The health sector in Nipa Kutubu will be given higher priority in this term of government. According to the MP, education was the priority in the last term of Parliament. DIRD reports state that Nipa Kutubu achieved 80% of its development projects for the education sector. Infrastructure will be the second priority, says MP Komal. Rural Development Acting Secretary I. Vaki emphasized on districts to have proper plans that is aligned with Vision 2050, MTD, Provincial Plan and Alatawa Codes 2. From acquittal reports presented by most districts in the past term of government, many carry out plans which were not consistent with district budgets. This has seen districts performing well below the average mark of the level of service delivery. But for Nipa-Kotubu District, MP Komal says the rolling 5-year plan will come into effect once funding is received. The presentation yesterday makes Nipa-Kotubu District the first out of the 89 to submit its rolling plan 2017 to 2022. Jack Lapava Jr., National EMTV News.
Immigration and Border Security Minister Petrus Thomas and Australian High Commissioner Bruce Davis participated in a groundbreaking ceremony for the redevelopment of Mabudawan Health Centre in the South Fly District of Western Province. The centre will be a referral facility and will provide vital primary healthcare services, including the management of tuberculosis to inland villages of the South Fly District. The 16-bed facility will include an emergency department, maternal and child health clinic, TB clinic, X-ray and laboratory service. The facility will be delivered through the Rural Primary Health Service Delivery Project under an Australian Government and Asian Development Bank funded project. And now looking at our finance news, the Kina closed unchanged at $0.3125 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina was buying $0.305 US, $0.3873 Australian dollars, $0.2533 euro and 33.95 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, cocoa and copra closed higher, while coffee closed the day lower. Palm oil and copper closed higher, while crude oil closed the day lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 42.21 points higher, the ASX closed at 22.36 points higher, and the All Ordinaries closed at 23.31 points higher. Among stories after the break, the death toll rise in the California fire in the United States. Stay tuned for details. Welcome back to the news. Today is World Sight Day. Dr. Amina Sultan from the Pacific International Hospital says there's little to no knowledge of eye care treatments and surgeries available in Papua New Guinea, and more awareness on eye health needs to be done. However, one of the leading causes of avoidable blindness in the country is cataract, which can be treated with surgery.
There has been little attention given to eye health care. Dr. Amina Sultan says the alarming results from a rapid assessment on avoidable blindness show striking results on eye health in the country.
Revealed for PNG that women are twice as more likely to be blind than men. So in that 40,000 blind, twice as many are women. So there is gender inequity there. And we also know that the majority of the blind, the higher prevalence of blindness is in our highlands region.
Patients diagnosed with diabetes are at possible risk and should visit eye care clinics for examinations on diabetic retinopathy. The survey shows NCD estimates prevalence on diabetes in adults over 50 years of age is at 7.8%. 80% have never had an eye check, while nearly 49.5% of those newly diagnosed had some form of retinopathy or complication in the eye.
We want to take this opportunity to urge and make an appeal to our general physicians and GPs that when they diagnose people with diabetes, that it is essential that an eye doctor or a nurse or somebody sees them who can examine the back of the eye to determine whether they have diabetes or not. Because if they have diabetic changes, if these are picked up early, we can provide treatment when there is a window of opportunity.
Meanwhile, PIH will be offering 300 cataract surgeries and examinations next week.
IH collaboration, we will be able to offer this free consultations and treatment to the people who are referred to us. As I said, we will be taking teams out into remote areas doing cataract surgery, but we are starting this launch by providing 100 free cataract surgeries right here at PIH.
The World Sight Day today reiterates the call for more eye care specialist doctors or ophthalmologists to be trained in the country.
We need to train more eye care professionals for this country, and Dr. Vivek and myself have been assisting the UPNG and the Lions Resource Center to provide training and lectures to the ophthalmology residents in training.
Merlin Diaukatam, National EMTV News.
It's a day away to what has been described as Papua New Guinea's worst aviation disaster in 2011. October 13 is commemorated as a day to remember those who perished in the ill-fated Airlines PNG plane crash in Madang. 28 people lost their lives in this tragic incident, many of whom were parents and families of final year graduating students of Divine Word University. 6 years on, and families of those who died in this tragic accident will commemorate this day. In 2014, the PNG Accidents Investigation Commission finally released the accident report, citing pilot error. A non-government organization, the Customary Land Law Foundation, has been advocating for the registration of land. Founder Dr. One Ragiao told EMTV News the vision of Papua New Guinea is based on our land and resources. He called on the national government to ensure there is proper dialogue with resource owners who are legitimate landowners.
The Customary Land Law Foundation PNG has been advocating on land issues. According to founder Dr. Oni Ragiao, landowners are living constitution and birthrights, inheritance of control rights on customary land, recognized by traditional cultural values, consisting to PNG laws in maintaining, developing and sharing resource benefits. Dr. Ragiao says most customary landowners are marginalized, not signatories to many agreements of projects in the country.
But when it comes to benefits, many of the customary landowners missed out. So what they're talking about, royalties, is not actually the proper way that the landowners should be compensated or landowners should be given. Because by rights, they got the rights to their customary land resources.
The underlying law of the national constitution outlines the importance of customary land.
That we are now talking to our leaders that they must look at this underlying law. So when you look at the underlying development, you are virtually looking at the indigenous jurisprudence. And when you look at the indigenous jurisprudence, you effectively are looking at the customary laws. And customary laws are 860.
Papua New Guinea does still use some colonial laws, and Dr. Ragiao says the nation has failed to use customary laws, which promotes PNG ways.
That's a problem we have. Papua New Guinea was independent because of culture diversity. That underlying law came about because underlying law contains our customary land resources as well as for the land for proper registration.
Bougainville is testimonial to what sparked the civil war on the island as a direct result of poor negotiations by the state and developers with landowners.
You know, when we use the rights of the people, especially using the customary land law, the rights of the people, yes, it speaks volumes. So this is the right time that Papua New Guinean government, especially the current government, to really look at the IOG and voluntary customary land registration because this is against the law.
Land is alive in the future, and after 42 years of independence, land issues must be fixed, especially the customary land law.
And if we continue using the IOG and voluntary customary land registration, we got a problem. And many people are now beginning to understand that by the IOG and voluntary customary land registration, the government is taking the control rights away from the landowners. When your control rights are taken away from the landowners, what becomes your customary land? It becomes somebody else's land.
The Customary Land Law Foundation sees compulsory land registration as way forward to alleviate many land-related issues like land grabbing. This will allow landowners to conduct business in a win-win solution.
According to the customary land law, the land is not for sale. And land in Papua New Guinea is taken as your mother. It is your mother. So mother looks after you. The mother looks after you, you grow up. Our land is like that. And if our land is to be sold, how can you sell your mother?
For Ibn Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
Turning overseas, massive wildfires sweeping through the U.S. state of California have killed at least 21 people and damaged thousands of homes. Firefighters are battling more than 22 fires in multiple counties, testified by strong winds. The cause of the fires are still unknown.
More than 22 wildfires are still raging in California, some of the worst this state has ever seen.
We've had big fires in the past. This is one of the biggest, the most serious. It's not over.
Ripping across more than 170,000 acres. Firefighters are struggling to stay ahead of the fast-moving flames and are focusing their limited resources on saving lives.
I think they underestimate how powerful and how dangerous it can be, and that's why I say if you're in an advisory, you got a place to go, go. You don't need to be here.
Those who are able to come home often find their memories in ashes.
Like it was my refrigerator.
Oh, wow.
Looks like it, and I don't know.
Lois Smith has lived here for 16 years and says she has never seen wildfires like this.
This looks like a war zone. Sad.
Yeah.
Real sad.
More than 3,500 homes and businesses are destroyed. At least 50,000 are without power, and many areas remain under mandatory evacuation.
The devastation's enormous.
With dozens of cell towers burned down, families are desperately trying to reach their loved ones. Authorities in Sonoma County originally had more than 600 missing person reports. Many of those people have since been accounted for, but officials believe the death toll will continue to increase.
Chukai Sports is next. Stay with us for details.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. The Osage Trophy Tour ended today at the National Football Stadium. The prestigious Paul Barrett Trophy finished its last leg of the tour around NCD.
The tour was taken on a roadshow from 2 Mile to Wanigela village. Many men, women and children ran towards the trophy as it made its way through the village. Excited locals followed the trophy all the way through. From Wanigela, the trophy was carried through Koki before visiting the fish market. Children ran beside the convoy of vehicles to catch a glimpse of the cup. The roadshow continued down through Lost Road before arriving at its next stop at APEC House.
Osage is building an APEC house under the tax credit scheme arrangement with the government. As today is the last day of the trophy tour in PNG and also in the National Capital District. The APEC House is going to be one of the landmark buildings when it's completed. So it is only appropriate that the trophy, which is also being sponsored by Oil Search, pay a visit to the APEC House.
From APEC House, the cup travelled down to the Oil Search National Football Stadium, where it was received by Port Moresby Rugby League. Former RFL President James Naipau, escorted by his directors, carried the trophy into the stadium and onto the field. Naipau says they are happy to have received the trophy and bring it into the stadium.
For the World Cup to at least come and finally rest here before it goes back to Australia, it's a great feat, and we thank World Search. You've done it. You brought the league to another level.
After the formalities, the trophy was officially handed over to the Rugby League World Cup Committee.
Has ended today, where we started at the home of rugby league in the country, the National Football Stadium. It's so fitting that we sent it off today with the Port Moresby Rugby League officials led by Dr. Naipau. And this ground has produced many Kumuls, many games also here. And I'm sure this very ground, we will win the 3 World Cup games, which we'll be holding here.
The Paul Berrier Trophy has come to the end of its journey. The cup has been to different places over the past few weeks. The tour would not be possible without the support of proud PNG company Oil Search Limited, and also not forgetting other sponsors who have assisted in successfully completing the tour. The Paul Berrier Trophy will return to Sydney, Australia after spending 30 days in Papua New Guinea.
Goodbye, my felony.
Rugby League World Cup 2017 has announced the winners of the jersey design competition. 3 students from different schools in Port Moresby were judged for their creativity.
The competition, which began in August, engaged primary school children to design a jersey for the Rugby League World Cup 2017 teams, Wales, Ireland, USA or Papua New Guinea, who will be playing 3 World Cup pool games in PNG.
Not only to the tournament itself and the work that's being done here by the tournament team on the ground, in and around preparing for what will be the biggest sporting event in Papua New Guinea and Port Moresby in 2017, but really engaging with communities, bringing to light the talent of such young, fantastic individuals, and it's great to see their work and to have them rewarded today. So congratulations, guys, on your fantastic work.
Rugby League World Cup 2017 CEO Andrew Hill says the competition enables school children to showcase their creative talents and be part of the Rugby League World Cup.
Can I congratulate every one of the students, the thousands of students who entered the competition. Can I acknowledge the school principals and the teachers for allowing their students to partake in the World Cup and in some small way to be part of history, to play their role in showcasing PNG to the world.
The winning students' schools will each pick 33 other students from their school for the opportunity to accompany World Cup teams onto the field on match day.
Big smiles on their face. They'll be smiling at people in the USA, Ireland and Wales, and they'll get to walk out in front of a packed house here at Oil Search Stadium and in front of millions of people. I think it's a marvellous opportunity for the organising committee to engage with primary schools.
Jersey design competition for Wales is Barrigan Koivi from St. Peter's Channel Primary School. Ireland's jersey design was won by Rihanna Towler from Gerhu Primary.
What are you going to ask for?
While Aaron Rex from the New Arima Primary secured his win with his USA jersey design. The winners and selected students automatically receive free seating allocation to watch one match. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
In an exclusive interview with EMTV today, Rohan Sawyer, the Rugby League World Cup General Manager, Commercial and Marketing, said the World Cup hype in Rugby League mad Papua New Guinea is nothing short of phenomenal. This can be clearly seen by how the trophy was received in each province it graced with its presence.
Speaking of the trophy tour and how thousands of people gathered to catch a glimpse of it, Soya said the following here in PNG is amazing.
Tens of thousands of people to turn out to see this trophy, the real passion of rugby league, it's in their blood, they're excited, every kid has a football and every spare minute we had they kicked the football and played round. So to take it to so many people, to see so many smiling faces, it's been fantastic.
With the help of all such, the trophy was taken far and wide, and this has left fans with much anticipation to see the World Cup dawn on Papua New Guinea.
Bringing it up here to Port Moresby and into Papua New Guinea has been phenomenal. It's actually lit up the city. I guess post-elections, it's giving the fans and the rugby league fans something really exciting to come, and we're bringing 3 of the best international teams from around the world to take on the Kumals in 3 games. And
host city manager Tasman Samuel also highlighted on RLWC merchandises.
Absolutely. So number 1 trophy, you can get there. Merchandise will be on sale shortly by the end of this week. So that's for merchandise for the Kumals and for the visiting teams as well. And it'll also be on sale at the venue during game time. So yeah, if you don't get them at the shops now, you can grab them at the venue.
Meanwhile, in the light of recent shifts in allegiance as NRL big names in the likes of James Tedesco's move to Italy, Jared Hayne to Fiji, with Andrew Fifita and Jason Tamalolo now in the Tongan outfit, Soya's sentiments reciprocated RLWC CEO Andrew Hills.
I think from our perspective, it's created a much more even and probably a more competitive tournament, which is fantastic. I think that the big 3 now have some really competitive teams up against them, and it's exciting to level the playing field a little bit.
Now with the World Cup only 16 days away, Tonga, Fiji and Italy fixtures ticket sale has spiked. And for the Papua New Guinea fixtures, it is notable to say the National Football Stadium will be filled to capacity. Dinarose Raiko, National, EMTV Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after these short messages. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. 18 naval officers from the HMPNGS Tarangao base in Lombrum, Manus Province are amongst the PNG Defence Force military personnel competing in the Commanders' Cup. The team consists of 15 rugby union players and 3 officials. They are one of the 2 teams representing the Sea Element.
Believed to have the smallest number of players, the HMPNGS Tarangao Sharks are eyeing the Commanders' Cup just like an eagle. They are one of the 2 naval teams taking part in this competition, the other being HMPNGS Basilis, which is based in Port Moresby. Dressed in black and white jerseys, the colors reflect the uniform of a naval officer.
It's the color white that was given to us. I mean, all commander will approve the color of white, color side lumipla HMPNGS Tarangao Manus. So that's why Beliko got the shirts they printed in whites, including this logo, all that all designing.
Most of these seamen have 2 to 3 years of experience out at sea, and some were part of the team that won a shield in the 2016 exercise Kakadu in Australia. Team manager Lenny Tom says most of the players have a background in rugby league, but this competition gives them a chance to play rugby union.
Bringing more color rugby unions, the rugby union, there was a lot of work that was put in. Bringing the thing to rugby union, but hopefully the 2 games where we played last time, bringing mind broken, all clear now the rules so by today the 2 game today hopefully they learned from yesterday and we improve the winning the 2 games today.
The Tarangaos have travelled all the way from Lombrum in Manus to participate in this military challenge. They played 2 games yesterday. One was a draw and the other a loss to the PNGDF headquarters chiefs.
Mipla losing the game. I believe 5 now, all 20 I think. Yes. And the game, second game, Lumpla want ATW, host unit, Mipla draw, 5-all.
And for today's game, the Tarangao Sharks have played against both infantry teams of the PNG Defence Force, the 1st and 2nd Royal Pacific Islands Regiments. Thakle Gunga, National EMTV Sports.
Basketball PNG CEO Joel Kalu, who announced his retirement this week, told EMTV Sports he had to leave due to family obligations. Kalu, who was with Basketball PNG for the last 19 months, says he is happy with his contribution to the Federation's achievements. In this Godwin Eki story, Kalu says as he has inspired many, young and old, through the code of basketball, this won't be the last PNG will see of him, as he plans to contribute in one way or another in the future.
Kalu's sudden withdrawal as Basketball PNG CEO has left the PNG basketball fraternity in shock. But the energetic CEO says he will always make an appearance whenever PNG needs a helping hand.
And as I said, this is, it might not be the end of my journey coaching-wise. I'd still like to be involved with the national team program. But obviously that's something I'll consider when the time comes, and obviously it's dictated by BFPNG board, and whether that they see me in a coaching role moving forward. But yeah, look, it probably won't be turning my back and walking away and leaving everything. I'd still hope that there's a connection there somehow, and I want to see the sport continue to be successful in this country.
Reflecting on his time as CEO of Basketball PNG and its achievements in previous months, Kalu will leave the country tomorrow a happy man. He says bringing basketball to a whole new level in the country and the many basketball programs developed in his time as CEO are a testament to how much the code has progressed and the way forward for PNG to not only find opportunity for regional tournaments but international ones as well.
My words going forward are continue to do what we've done. Nothing needs to really change. There's a solid foundation there of programs, especially with Hoops for Health. The national team is now at the level where they need to be, winning gold medals, and hopefully that can continue on to 2019. Yeah, people just continue to support the sport. I think we've got a fantastic game that can be played of all ages, men and women, family friendly. So get out and support basketball and get behind it.
Not only did Kalu look back on his time as CEO, but the very people that he worked with to build a code. When asked about his highlights over the last 19 months, he says bringing PNG to participate in the Melanesian Cup and to come out on top as gold medal winners only proves how fast PNG has grown.
It's more than basketball, and they're the things that I'll cherish is those moments where the cameras are off behind the scenes and being part of a team that achieves something special. So look, I'll definitely miss those relationships. I think everyone kind of welcomed me in with open arms, and I had to go prove my worth here. And hopefully, looking back now over the last 19 months, I can say that I did okay.
Kalu will leave the country tomorrow for his hometown of Cairns in Australia to attend to family obligations. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
And that ends Chukai Sports. The weather details after the break.
Chukai Sports. Chukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Weather forecast for tonight in the southern region: thundery showers tonight, then fine in Port Moresby, a shower or two in Daru, and thundery showers tonight in Kerma, Alotau and Popondetta. In the Mamasa region, thundery showers in Lae and showers in Medang, Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, thundery rain showers can be expected in all centres. And in the Highlands region, thundery showers, then morning fog in all centres.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And that's been the news for today, Thursday, the 12th of October 2017. From the entire news team, good night.